Well, it's Tag Tuesday again. And you know what that means? It means it's Tuesday and I'm doing another tag video. Alright, so this is the books that should be adapted tag. This was originally created by Kevin Towell Reads, and I got tagged by Joe and Mary at BookBuds. They tagged me in some point in 2024. I'm really sorry it's taken me this long to get to it. I'm working my way through my tags. I'm starting to do it properly now. I'm sorry. But you should absolutely check out the channel of BookBuds and the Kevin Towell Reads. They're both fantastic channels that I love watching. And this is one of the simplest tags. It is just talk about books that you think should be adapted to TV or movie. And I have got a little bit of a list here that I'm going to go through. Okay, so the first one I'm going to suggest is the Children of Time series by Adrian Tchaikovsky. So I think this would adapt really quite well to television. It's set in a distant future when humanity is going out trying to colonize planets, but many of those worlds have already had life put on them by humanity, and that life has evolved to become intelligent. And the first one, Children of Time, is about a planet that has on it a race of super intelligent spiders, and most of the book is from the spiders' point of view. It's absolutely bonkers, and it gets more nuts after that, and I absolutely love it, and I just love to see what someone would be able to do in trying to adapt that. The next one I have gone with is another similar science fiction. It's We Are Legion, We Are Bob, and again, it's set in a distant future when humanity is trying to colonize other worlds. But this is all from the perspective of this artificial intelligence, which was originally the mind of this tech guy from Silicon Valley. And he's kind of a just nerdy software developer guy, and he ends up dying, and his consciousness gets turned into an artificial intelligence which then replicates itself as it goes out into the galaxy. So there are all of these AIs all over the galaxy, and they're all versions of Bob. It's fantastic, and again I think this is adapted really well to a TV series, because there's, as time goes on, there's all these different versions of Bob all doing different things, and yeah, it's a lot of fun. And if you haven't read that series by Dennis E. Taylor, first one's called We Are Legion, We Are Bob. Highly recommend that one. The next thing I go for is The Secret History by Donna Tartt. It was one of these books that I assumed had been adapted somewhere, and the subject matter leads it to a movie adaptation really well, because it's set in a New England college, and it's this group of close-knit students who one of them ends up getting killed by the rest of them. That's not a spoiler, that is literally explained in the first chapter. But it's all about them getting to the point where that happens, and then how they try to cope with it afterwards. And I think this would really lend itself to a movie very well. And I'm quite surprised that The Secret History by Donna Tartt has never actually been adapted. And I've got two more, which are kind of cheats. And the reason they're cheats is because both of these books have already been adapted, but the adaptations are dreadful. The first one is The Dark Tower series by Stephen King, and I'm not entirely certain how that could be done and do it justice, where it incorporates everything else from the Stephen King universe in the way that The Dark Tower does. The core series would still be a very compelling watch, though. Again, I think a TV series, a high-budget TV series that ran over a long period of time, I think that would work really, really well. The film of The Dark Tower, on paper, it looked like it was going to be great, because I think the casting of Idris Elba as Roland, and I think the casting of Matthew McConaughey as the Man in Black, I think that those are two superb pieces of casting. But for reasons which I can't fathom, it was just absolutely dreadful. Well, I can't fathom them. It was just a bad script. It just didn't take any of the proper essence of the story. It just took bits of it and just threw everything else out. So yeah, it's a dreadful adaptation. I'd love to see that done well. The other thing I'd really love to see done well is Guards by Terry Pratchett. Now, there was a Watch TV series that ran for a few episodes, which I think kind of loosely adapted Guards. I say I think because I didn't even finish the first episode, because whatever it was not Terry Pratchett's Discworld. I don't know what it was supposed to be, but that wasn't it. Some people really like it. It's fair to say, I don't think anyone really considers it a faithful adaptation of Terry Pratchett's Discworld. So yeah, I'd love to see a really good representation of Guards by Terry Pratchett. So those are the books that I think would lend themselves really well to adaptation. The people I'm going to tag for this one, I'm going to tag Cliff at Cliff's Dark Gems, because he's bound to have some really nasty, creepy horrors on there that are going to look really good on a big screen. I am going to tag Brian and Casper actually as well in Adventures in Literature. If you're not subscribed to Adventures in Literature, you absolutely should. If not for Brian's fantastic book reviews, then for the absolutely adorable cockatiel Casper. And the last person I'm going to tag, and this might be actually one of the tags that she hasn't actually done, and that's Pat at Book Chat with Pat. Pat is so well read, she's bound to know some beautiful piece of literature that would lend itself to a lovely adaptation which hasn't been done yet. So those three channels, consider yourselves tagged as per usual. If you don't want to do this, no pressure, but I'm glad to shout you out, and I hope that everyone who's watching this goes and subscribes, not just to those three channels, but also to Kevin Tell Reads and to BookBuds as well. Thanks so much, BookBuds, for tagging me. Thank you everybody else for watching this, and take care.